Hey guys, Ashen1 here, and welcome to this Elden Ring video containing some interesting new facts straight from Hidetaka Miyazaki himself from his interview in the most recent publication of Edge magazine. If you like my content, please like, subscribe and hit that bell icon. You can also follow me on Twitch at Ashen1 Gaming. Miyazaki himself refused to go into spoiler territory in the interview, but I guess some of what you're about to see may be spoilers to you. Okay, let's jump straight in, and with a superhero landing to boot. 1. The awesome character on the cover. You've likely already seen this artwork, but Miyazaki himself has now confirmed this to be Godfrey. Not Godwin or Godric, this is Godfrey, the very first Elden Lord. You might have already figured this out, but what we now have confirmed is that Godfrey is not one of Marika's sons. Godfrey is, or was in fact, Marika's husband. Miyazaki states this and also that Godfrey represents everything that was great about the Elden Ring. But he himself became tarnished. He represents not only a great part of the player character's role, but also a great part in the world and its history. So apart from being tarnished, what do we think is the connection between Godfrey and the player character? 2. George R.R. Martin's writing brief. Miyazaki explains that early on he agreed with the Game of Thrones author that he would not be writing the game's story or any in-game text. Miyazaki wanted to make sure that there were no limits to George R.R. Martin's creativity, and if he started writing from within the context of a video game, it may have limited his imagination. So all he shared with him were high-level concepts and themes that Miyazaki had swimming around in his head. This allowed George R.R. Martin to do what he does best, invent history and build worlds. 3. The golden rings in the Elden Ring logo. Miyazaki has confirmed that the separate golden rings in the logo represent the laws of the Golden Order, more so the demigods that try to apply and maintain these laws. So after the Shattering, this seems to be what we're left with, fractured law and order. And from what Miyazaki says, it looks like we as the player will get to decide these laws and see the effect they will have on the world. And surely the Venn diagram layout suggests hybrid faction classes, right? 4. The vertical span. A recent Elden Ring social media post stated that, like the Erdtree itself, a Tarnished's path reaches up to the branches of the heavens and twists down into the roots of the earth. In previous Souls games, the vertical span is very impressive, from deep underground lava pits all the way up to temples in the sky. Item descriptions in Elden Ring have referenced an underground city and a temple in the sky. Miyazaki has confirmed that these descriptions do actually reference places of exploration in the game, and that the budding adventurer can expect to traverse great depths and heights. 5. The main symbolic theme. Throughout the Dark Souls series, fire has been the main theme. In Elden Ring, as well as a ring, it's the Erdtree. Miyazaki wanted something visually striking to represent the world, something that would represent the golden law and order, but something that was not absolute. Law and order, those who enforce it, and worlds themselves eventually wither and die. So what better symbol than a tree? A glowing gold tree, the Erdtree, which itself will eventually wither and die. 6. Inspiration and languages. Miyazaki lists the following as just some of the many inspirations behind Elden Ring: The Lord of the Rings, the Eternal Champion novels, and tabletop RPGs such as RuneQuest. Despite the Elden Ring being more abstraction than an actual physical ring, it's still pretty hard not to think of the One Ring when it comes to any medieval fantasy with ring in the title. Some Hawkeye fans in the closed network test noticed that casting the Holy Ground script created very elvish-like runes on the ground, as if taken straight from Lord of the Rings. Miyazaki has cleared this up by stating that the runes actually represent the language of the Two Fingers faction, just one of the many factions that will be in the game. Miyazaki also re-emphasizes that George R.R. Martin's world building was still his biggest inspiration. 7. Scripted combat is never enforced. Mounted combat in Elden Ring adds a whole new feature to Souls games as we know them. When asked about battles or bosses created for mounted combat or specific strategies, Miyazaki stated that, "At no point do we want to enforce horse riding or mounted combat on the player. They should never feel as though something is being forced upon them." This is great as it basically leaves the game open to our playstyles individually. 8. Despite the title, rings will not be accessories like in Dark Souls games. Rings as we know them in Souls games will be replaced by talismans in Elden Ring, but Miyazaki has stated that rings, as in finger rings, will be equipable as unique items that are involved in the story and unique character events. 9. Miyazaki's sad but understandable personal policy. Miyazaki has a personal policy of not playing any of the games he's made himself. When asked to explain why, he states that it would bring up a lot of old memories and old emotions, and that there would be no unknowns to him, and so it would not feel like playing at all. I mean, I kind of understand where he's coming from. I love sausages, but that doesn't mean I want to see them made, or that I'd want to keep eating them after I've seen how they're made. And finally, number 10, why Elden Ring might be the best From Software game yet. Well, simply because Miyazaki himself believes Elden Ring to be his best game to date. Miyazaki has confirmed that Elden Ring represents the culmination of knowledge and experience he and his team have gained from making all the previous Soulsborne Akira games. Elden Ring is simply the whole that couldn't have been possible before. So there you have it, guys. How did you find this information and my first Elden Ring video? My first of many, hopefully. What are the coolest facts or theories you have or have come across about Elden Ring? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.